gentlemen, let me turn this microphone up. Let's get this show.
And Marcus Farrell. How you doing, man?
Hey, good morning, Ben. Good morning, Trap Squad. Good morning, Mondale.
What up, boy?
Good morning to all the ladies, gentlemen, and non-conforming individuals that watch our show. We hope to bring you quality content and news sources today.
That's what's up. That's what's up. So much happening, man. So much happening with the president trying to do a coup.
Yeah,
He's replacing people at the Department of Defense. He is trying to bring up legal cases that have no teeth whatsoever because they have no valid case, but it doesn't stop them. They're trying to work on the legislative level to the state legislatures to get them to ignore the will of the various states, and it's all happening in real time. You guys following?
yeah. Um, this, considering the fact that he just spent billions of dollars on a weapons package to continue the adversarial nature of the United States of America in the Middle East, um, during a lame duck session, is an attempt to create a forced Biden's hand, forced a Biden administration's hand on having a certain aggressive front when it comes down to the UE once he leaves, and it's a perfect way for the Republican playbook. And I'm almost willing to say this right here. I don't know if you guys saw the story, but this is another one of the stories about Trump and his lame duck presidency. When he spent this money, and hopefully we can find an article, but when he spent this money, and these are billions of dollars going to like fighter jets, right? That he just signed off on yesterday after he lost the election. It's an unprecedented move because lame ducks don't do that kind of
Right.
don't make those kind of decisions.
Right.
But it's almost like the military industrial complex said, "Okay, you lost. We need to go ahead and get that check real quick."
Yeah.
Right. We need to get that check real quick. So you need to go ahead and make this move, man. Trump is positioning himself to be a media mogul again, but I don't know if he's even going to be able to do that because, hopefully he'll be in jail. Right. But and if he is a media mogul, what we need to worry about is him consistently galvanizing the right to become violent and unstable like he is.
What are you thinking about him, Mundell?
Uh, Man, this guy's nuts. We should have known. I think we did know. We talked about like who he would be once he lost his election, and I think our predictions were correct. This is a baby who's trying to take their toys and go home, but instead their toys just happen to be the United States military, um, armed forces, and also other department and agencies. And he's trying to, put Trump lawyers in all of these positions as soon as possible. I guess he's basically what he's doing is padding people's resume so that once they're out of office in a month or so, a little bit more than a month, they could put they had national positions or at agencies that are, heads of departments, so they can go overseas and act as consultants. So here's the tragedy, man. Doing it in an agency, it's already jacked up that he's not really cleaning house for cleaning house, but just trying to promote his people, his loyalists. The sad part is when you see it like play into places where it really matters. He's replacing people who's in charge of like military policy and intelligence. Excuse me. The danger of that is there's tons of people in the military that depend on that intelligence and also those policies. So while people think, well, it's only a matter of time, what happens militarily takes a long time to undo. So if you put in intelligence or you give false intelligence or policy, you may cost someone their lives.
Yeah.
And the ramification of that may not be felt between now and January. It may happen on the next presidency or during the next presidency, and then we're all looking at that president like, yo, you failed us already militarily. So that's what frightens me about what Trump's doing. You can literally set some stuff in play that get people killed next spring or even at the end of next year or 4 or 5 years just by passing fake policies. Or we already know how he feels about intelligence. So when you put a Trump loyalist in charge of military intelligence, that's so scary to me.
I think he's making moves for right now. I think he's everything that y'all said. I think he's padding people's resumes, but he's also I don't trust these folks as far as I can see them. I think that they would legitimately make a pass at democracy and keeping him in power. I mean, they're saying as much on between Ted Cruz, Lindsey Graham, Mike Pompeo. They're all saying that this election was invalid and there's illegal votes. I think that they're honestly just coming for democracy itself.
Hey, these guys need to be put in jail for treason, man. Like straight up. The Panthers have gone to jail for much less than what the current administration is doing. Black liberation leaders have been shot and killed for actions that were close to being a questioning a constitution that was written to not necessarily empower us. And if you think about how they wave the flag, how the Trump world waves the flag, how they make certain litmus tests to be an American, but when it comes down to the pure test of the Constitution, which is, one of them is a peaceful transfer of power, they are literally firing generals so they can get their people in there to possibly, and this is conspiracy theory, Marcus, right here, man, but to possibly stop anyone from, going into the White House and actually taking power and gaining power. And they're making decisions like they know for a fact that they're going to stay there. The unfortunate part about this transition aspect is COVID is still happening and they don't give a damn.
Boy, 200,000 people in one day.
They don't care. This is the last thing on the. If you think that Trump is worried about COVID right now when his job is on the line, then you got another thing coming. Trump could care less about if you wear a mask in front of his face in front of a newborn. He could care less.
Wow.
Right now, the only thing he cares about is firing generals, firing staffers. I mean, when that brother said the military will not be stepping in to assist with keeping power, he got fired. Come on now. I don't know what we're working with, but we got to work with a lot more.
I know, and here's the other side of the coin, right? Where the Democrats at on this? Where are the Democrats on this? Like, I'm not seeing a full court press. I'm seeing more energy being put into this to make sure that defund the police and Jim Clyburn. He's on MSNBC every day talking about that, but he's not talking about this. And I'm like, seriously, we're at a critical junction, in my opinion. If I look at all the pieces that are laid out, and Marcus, you said that was conspiracy theory, Marcus. I don't know if it's conspiracy theory, man. I think it's within the realm of possibilities, knowing exactly who Donald Trump is.
Right. Well, I mean, I'll add on to that. Somebody check on Sister Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez mental health, because when she said that she's willing to walk away from Congress because Democrats give her a hard time and anything that looks progressive a hard time, right? I can only imagine what that sister is going through, right? Meanwhile, she's giving guidance tweets to, I love this, she's giving guidance tweets to Cori Bush about how to thrift shop in D.C. to make sure that she looks nice for the job, right? So we've said this before, but, corporate Democrats and moderate Democrats care more about oppressing progression and progressives than actually fighting Republicans. I'm going to say that. And right now, all of the energy from the Democratic side of the House needs to be going towards getting Trump out. Every tweet, every second. I mean, I understand even progressives need to slow down. We don't ever have to slow down on our policies, but even progressive politicians need to be talking about, all right, this dude Trump is trying to take over America, right, because this is a direct threat to the Constitution. We can talk about Medicare for all and everything else once he gets out of office.
But if he don't get out of office, we ain't got no country.
We don't have a chance, right? And for Jim Clyburn to even be talking about, defund the police right now, and man, look. Y'all know me. That's my number 2 issue besides reparations, right? But I mean, even I know when it's a time to kind of like relax, man. We understand it. You hate anything progressive, right? You don't want to ever give up your seat. You want to choose your seat, and you want to choose the person who replaces you. And that's going to be a conversation we have to talk about too, sooner or later. But we get it. We get it. But now is not the time. Just like y'all told us, now is not the time to talk about progressive policies and push Joe Biden to the left. Now is also not the time to be talking about how much you hate progressives. You hate black people in the street, because obviously you hate black people in the streets if you think that the black people in the streets have been lying this whole time. And you're not talking about the number one thing, and that's getting Donald Trump orange behind out of the office.
These are wild ass times. And the thing is that we're dealing with a group of Republicans who honestly believe, these clowns honestly believe that they were cheated. And they believe, so this whole legal and illegal voting thing, right? I mean, it just screams. It just screams white supremacy. It just screams Jim Crow. Like, our votes don't really matter to them because they don't like the way we cast our votes. So therefore, those votes are illegal because they have no other grounding, no other foundation to say that something was illegal. All these affidavits, if you read through some of these affidavits of people and explaining why they think it was voter fraud, it's laughable. It is absolutely laughable, but they're going with it. These Republican senators are going with it. It ain't stopping them from going with it.
Hey, I'm a N-bomb this one, America, but I'm not going to N-bomb it with the ER. I'm going to N-bomb with the A. These N's are voting. We have to stop them from voting.
Yeah. And
we have a problem with every state that they voted in. We don't have a problem with any state that voted for Donald Trump. So you mean to tell me somehow magically, America, somehow magically, the only places that had legal votes were places that voted for Donald Trump. The only states that didn't have voter fraud were states that voted for Donald Trump. All the states that voted for Joe Biden, it's perfectly fine to assume that the supervisor of elections and all these states have no integrity. It's perfectly fine to assume that that dead black people voted. It's perfectly fine to assume that people are throwing away ballots. Listen, factually, the only people who ever really tossed ballots were the Florida Republican Party in the year of our Lord 2000, and those ballots went right over the Blue Bridge in Jacksonville.
Or the Republican who stole black people's ballot in the 9th Congressional District in North Carolina. So that happened in 2020 and before the pandemic, and caused the Congress to have to go to one person in Congress wasn't seated because a Republican actually that said he won an election. Come to find out, he had a consultant who was going to black people in southeast North Carolina, going to their doors, picking up their ballots, telling them he would turn it in, and he was marking it for Republicans.
Wow.
So that happened, and he was prosecuted. So the only form. Oh, I'm sorry. And then speaking of Florida, there was also a Republican elected official, public elected official who voted twice. He was a Republican. He voted in Pennsylvania, and he also voted in Houston, Texas. Sorry, not Florida, Houston. So if you want to talk about voter frauds, those terms, the time that it only happened is then. And people need to know there's tons of people who always register to vote and put fake names. That ain't voter fraud. That's people who don't want to register to vote, and they've been asked to vote by somebody. That person probably asked them with 12 clipboards and didn't have time to check the clipboard, and they probably registered Mickey Mouse. That is not voter fraud. If Mickey Mouse don't show up with an ID, with a beard, and try to vote, that ain't really voter fraud. That's voter registration wasting time. That's an ineffective voter registration program. And it doesn't matter that your name is on the voting rolls. It's not voter fraud or a problem to our democracy until you show up and try to act on it.
Let me tell you guys something about voter registration. In my role as chief of staff for New Georgia Project, I was working with Nsé Ufot and Alex and all those great people that are over there in New Georgia Project. Registering voters in the state of Georgia, and just in Republican states in general, because all the states, all the Republican-led states have laws like this. I want y'all to understand something. When you're a voter registrar, that means that you help people get registered to vote. And you're like an agent that can legally help people get registered to vote. So if you ever see somebody on the side of the road with a clipboard that says, "Hey, are you registered to vote?" You can get registered right here. You actually have to be qualified to do that in the state of Georgia first, which by itself is one step that they have implemented to make it harder for people to register to vote.
Yeah.
Every single mistake that you make on a voter registration form in the state of Georgia costs you you can get sued. You can be liable to the state of Georgia for $10,000.
Can I take 2 seconds to tell you how utterly stupid Donald Trump is? This man just tweeted out 2 seconds ago. He said, Richard Hopkins, Pennsylvania postal worker, recants ballot tampering claim, according to the Washington Times. This is the story I covered last night. This is the man who said that he was basically paid to claim that there was voter tampering, and he recanted. Donald Trump just tweeted it. And I'm like, do you really think this is helping your side of the argument? Maybe he doesn't know what recant means. This man is a fuck. I'm sorry. Yeah. Go ahead, Jim.
So, he saw the name and then he does not read. We know he saw the name, and the name means something to him because it's in popular news right now. So he retweeted it. Here's a tragedy of him being that loose. First of all, I hope they push him and find out who paid him, right?
Yeah.
Who paid you to lie? Because I bet you that person is tied either 1 degree or directly to that campaign. Just like those calls that were coming from the Proud Boys or people, sounding like the Proud Boys, telling people they know how they're registered to vote. And if you do try to vote for a Democrat, we're going to know. Just like those people said they were Homeland Security saying you need to stay home and not go vote. Just like those people that were armed at Black and brown polling locations, just like Donald Trump's son and all of the shenanigans they were involved with. So, we know that you're absolutely right, man. The guy don't read. He tweeting something about a recant of a lie that he probably paid for indirectly or directly or probably through a lawyer, so he can blame that lawyer and that lawyer can go to jail in 4 or 5 years, but not him. Circle last year with his last
Michael
lawyer.
Cohen.
Yeah. So I mean, this is Donald Trump. This is traditional Donald Trump. I'm just waiting for America to stop paying his bills so it can be all the way Donald Trump.
Right.
Well, I mean, okay, so check this out. America's a pretty big country, right? And America's a pretty important country, right? Now, our placement in the world, I will say this right here, and I say this as a veteran who served for this country. Our placement in the world during the Donald Trump administration has gone down. We might have been number 2 or even number 1 or even number 3 in many ways, but we're now number 3, 2, 4. We dropped a little bit because of the American exceptionalism is gone, and I just want to our exceptionalism is gone, and the proof in the pudding is our leader's public face is his Twitter page. Yeah. And Ben, you just brought this up, but I'm gonna go through it real quick. Our president, the guy who leads our whole country, hasn't tweeted anything about policy.
Yeah.
Since
the election.
I haven't seen anything do we have any Middle Eastern concerns, considering that you just gave out billions of dollars to the military-industrial complex? Maybe you want to say why you did that during the lame duck administration. You're the most powerful man in America. All I see is voter fraud, fake posters, we will win. Voter fraud again. So this guy's.
Well, I mean, this dude, we are dealing with man. But this is his ignorance that makes him so dangerous. Like, he doesn't care. He doesn't think. He doesn't know. He doesn't know the ramifications, and he doesn't care about the ramifications. Quite frankly, he doesn't care if he destroys this country. It is for Donald Trump. He is more than happy to destroy this country than to bruise his ego. And you got other people around him who are backing him up. And with all these moves that he's making, ain't nobody. I don't know, man. I don't want to. It's in the realm of possibilities.
Listen, but I got to tell y'all something. Alec, the Republican group of friends that come together and create legislation, Alec and policy and moves, I'm going to give them props this morning, even though they're the most evil bastards on the planet. They are the most well-skilled political machine that we possibly have ever seen in America. And let me tell you why. Because at the top of the ticket, they managed to get a psychopath elected. And at the bottom of the ticket, they are instituting draconian measures to keep black, brown, and normal Americans from voting in every aspect. I'm talking about from the smallest races to the largest races. And they're placing, and they've managed to do an amazing job, not only helping place Republicans across the board in state houses across the nation, but also getting them to pass policy to the point where even their email game is good, because we got state representatives introducing policy that has the wrong states on it. Because there's just a copy and paste of what Alec gave them. I wanted to go back to something that's more local again, and I wanted to point out to you guys, to Americans, exactly what they do, and to the Trap Squad, what they do with voter registration. And I started this, but I wanted to finish this point. So for every single mistake that you make helping out a person get registered to vote in the state of Georgia, and these aren't like rich people. These are normal Americans. These are people who work with us. These are your brother, your father, your son, your daughter, your cousins, right? Who, making $15 an hour, $15 to $20 an hour, just registering people to vote. You get charged $10,000 for every mistake that's made. And these Republicans will take a poor person to court and try to get $100,000 out of them if they've seen 10 mistakes. The state will literally have to sue you. So therefore, organizations like the NAACP and all these legal funds have to come up with money to save normal people from having to get charged $10,000. So after you know that, now if you know that information and you're a canvasser, you're a person who's going out and registering people to vote, you become uber sensitive about every single letter, dot, and I on those. You're not getting charged $100,000. So let me tell you how big voter fraud is in Georgia. It's not. Nobody wants to risk $100,000. Nobody wants to risk going to court. Nobody wants to do that. So Republicans have found other measures to do this. So I'm just bringing this up to let everyone know that, man, for the most part, voter fraud is not real. The voter fraud conversation within black and brown communities is rooted in American racism. They have to be cheaters. They have to be lying. They have to be sneaky. They have to do something wrong, right? That's what the thought process is with the Republican Party, and they're going to feed into it as much as possible so they can continue to win elections.
That's they've been passing those laws slowly but surely around the country, and it is exactly that, Marcus. It is exactly an attempt to disenfranchise black people specifically. It's just a power grab. It has always been. And the thing about it is that shout out to the organizations that understand that it's a power grab, understand that it's not fair, understand that it is an attempt to disenfranchise black people, but y'all still go out there and do the work anyway. Y'all still go out there and overcome and register hundreds of thousands of people, despite it. Shout out to both of you brothers. Veterans Day. Happy Veterans Day. Two gentlemen who have given their time and their lives in their been on the doing this damn work in a way that I could never commit to. So salute to both of y'all on this Veterans Day.
Hey, I'm gonna real quick. I'm gonna do two things. I just wanted to finish your last. Thank you. I wanted to finish your last statement by saying this right here, and I can't speak for Mondale, but I let him do it on his own. When I work for democracy, I'm not working to get one person just elected. I'm trying to work to make sure that a good person who could pass good policy gets into office. When I walk my neighborhood.
We lost. Is that me? Did I get lost? Folks, are you still here? Let's see if I'm still here and I just lost. The hell? I'm here. Okay, I'm here. All right, good. At least I'm here. I don't know what just happened with Skype, but at least I'm here. So let me take Skype off the screen for a minute. and we will see what happened with the fellas. I don't know why Skype would drop and not the entire stream, but that entire meeting, wow, the whole meeting just fell off. No idea why, but at least we're still here. The stream stayed up, fellas.
We saw Ben. You stayed up there, but it dropped us off.
That's wild. But here we go. Let's pull y'all back into the conversation. Go ahead, Marcus. You were saying.
Yeah, listen. When I walk around my neighborhood, I live where the King Memorial is, right?
Right.
And I walk by where Coretta Scott King and Dr. King are laid to rest. And as cliche as this sounds, coming from a lot of community members, because sometimes people want to, whiteify King. Sometimes people want to, commercialize King, Mickey Mouse King, right? If I wasn't there, if me and my counterparts weren't there, trying to protect democracy, trying to make sure that Black folks were still voting and living the legacy that him and his counterparts, and also all the way back to Harriet Tubman and even before those days of freedom fighters, I wouldn't be doing my due diligence. So that's one thing. Second thing is thanks everybody for all the shout out for veteran. As you know, me and Mondale are veterans of the United States Navy, and my job in the Navy I was a U.S. Navy corpsman. Everybody, I was a U.S. Navy corpsman. So my job was to literally take Marines who would do silly things like get shot in the butt, or do silly things like, "Hey Doc, it burns when I pee." I'm taking a cheap shot at the Marines, but no. But I served most of my time at the Naval Hospital, and also with the Marines at Parris Island and 3rd Mar Division as a corpsman. And my job was literally just to make sure people felt better. And Mondale, what did you do, brother?
I was an aviation purchasing agent. So with the aviation squadron 6672. I care about my time in the military because I met some of my closest friends when I was in the Marine Corps, and I also learned how to break bones. That was kind of cool. Shoot guns and stab people properly. I'm just joking, but not really.
Not really.
I don't really.
Absolutely not joking.
I mean, the time in the military was important for my life because it taught me how to be disciplined, and stay the course. So, it also got rid of my the fight or flight thing, got rid of my flight, and just made me just stay and fight. And it's good because it translates to not just physical fighting, but also the way I carry my life. But other than that, I ain't do it because of no patriotic reason. I needed to escape extreme poverty, and it was an easy route. I was sitting at home getting in trouble. I was young, graduated from high school a semester early, and I wasn't even going to the Marine Corps. I was going to go to the Air Force, but because I graduated from high school a semester early, they were like, if you go to the Air Force, if you try to go early, you're going to be a cook. And I'm like, I'm not going to be a cook. I scored the 90s on the ASVAB. It's not going to happen. That's no disrespect to cooks. It's just that it wasn't my plot in life. But so not because of no nationalistic or patriotic reason did I join the military like so many families do, and that's their thing. That's cool. But I did it because I needed to escape poverty, and it's like the Marine Corps recruiter, the military recruiters in Black high schools are like dope boys waiting to recruit new people to sell drugs to them on the corner.
Absolutely.
Wow. They're all over our high schools, not like they are in, they're not like in white schools. White school got college, recruiters all over their high school. We are flooded with military folk. Had a table at every lunch session at our school every day. So it's part of the trick, but I use the trick for my good. So, yeah. And also, yesterday was the Marine Corps birthday. I would be remiss if I didn't say that.
Yeah. When was the last time you went to a Marine Corps ball, my brother?
When I was in law school in Arizona. I'm sorry, not Arizona. Jesus. Arkansas. Yeah. I was in law school with a guy who was actually, believe it or not, a Black Marine commander who actually led the entire reservist unit in Little Rock, which was, I think, the only one in Arkansas. And he invited me. So I put on my uniform and went to a Marine Corps ball. It felt good to be out there. But you know, I think it's indicative of like your description as a corpsman of what you did with the Marine Corps. This is how stupid Marines are. Marine Corps aren't bright. They're not known for being bright. When we was in basic training, the Marine Corps only has two places to train. You'll notice that a Navy person is a sailor, Army person is a soldier, an Air Force is a person in the Air Force is an airman, a Marine is a Marine. Like ain't no you one of these things. You just a Marine, and that's because that was a shot at all the other branches for me. You'll know that like the Marine Corps has two places to train. It's not based on your job, it's based on where you live. If you live east of the Mississippi, you go to Parris Island. If you live west of the Mississippi, you go to San Diego. So when I was in basic training, it was 150 people started out with us. We're all the same age, between 17 and 18. We all just graduated from high school. And it was literally like 50, 60 people in that platoon that swear that they were quarterback of the year. That's impossible. It's impossible.
Somebody want to know if I served. I served in the Army of the Lord. That's about all the service you got to get out of me.
I know that's right.
Go ahead, Mondale.
Yeah. So yeah, like it's 50 people in the Senate. They were all quarterback of the year in their state, and I'm trying to tell them like that's impossible because first of all, not only that, we don't represent 50 states. We're only half of the country. And and all of us the same age. So how all of y'all, you see what I'm saying? Like it ain't no geniuses in the Marine Corps. So they're not looking for people who think. They're looking for people who just do. And that was my biggest problem. That's why I always ran into problems. Like they want people to just do. And if you ask why is a question that will get you in the military, a lot of trouble in the Marine Corps, military in general probably. But no, I'm a why type of person. So I literally enjoy my time because of the guys I met. And I still have friends. I also know that it's hyper racist. The Marine Corps hyper racist.
Hey, Mondale, I gotta say the same thing. Like, what actually got me involved, even caring about politics before I literally moved into politics, was I was in the military during 9/11, and imagine like being a young military service member and then watching planes fly into a building, right? Like, and I'll never forget, I was in shotgun training. I was training to use a shotgun. And here I am, a medic. We're not supposed to be using shotguns, but at the time they were protesting bombing Vieques in Puerto Rico, and I was stationed in Puerto Rico. And literally what happened was, the guy, there was a chief next to me, like an E7 that was sitting next to me. And the first thing out of his mouth was, we're going to war. I ain't gonna say the second thing because it's a conspiracy theory thing, but the first thing that was out of his mouth was, we're going to war. And it made me start to think, and then all of a sudden life changes, especially as a military member, right? Like life literally changed. Like my duties got different. Like where I went got different. The things they allowed us to do got different. And the biggest thing I noticed was George Bush was the president. And it was like, I never forget saying this to myself, man, his daughter is around my age and she ain't in the service.
Right.
But we all about to go to war, right? And it was the first time that I recognized my skin color when it came down to my life being valuable and me being like a part of a blue arrow instead of me being an individual, right? And it just made me question wars. And now that we know what we know about politics because of the internet, now that we know what we know, that especially, in hindsight, now we know it wasn't any weapons of mass destruction, right? Now that we know, like, and I was in the military, right? And the things that they were selling us in the service was, weapons of mass destruction. Brown people are your enemy. The Al Qaeda is trying to kill you. They're trying to attack Americans. They're trying to kill innocent people. And when all that stuff ended up not being true, it'll make you think differently about being an active duty service member. But shout out to all of my brothers and sisters who stayed in. It's just, man, when it was time for me to go, I had to go.
You got the hell out of there.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I wanted to go to the Marine Corps just to like almost piss on the history, the policy of the Marine Corps, meaning that I don't know if people know this, like the Marine Corps had a policy that it made it illegal from 1777 to 1942 for black men to join. Like you couldn't be a black Marine
Wow.
until
I didn't know that.
1942. Yeah, it was only 12 Marines that fought in 12 black Marines that fought in the Revolutionary War. And after that, like after we helped them win 1977, I mean 1777, they were like, yeah, none of that. And then 1942, they brought in Howard Perry, and he called hell even in desegregated. He was the first African American recruit at the what is it, Executive Order 8802 or some shit. Sorry about that. So I that like being a nerd, knowing that made me want to go. Plus, there was a couple Marines in my hometown who told me my attitude wasn't gonna let me do it, and I wouldn't be able to make it through basic training. So I went down there and, as a I'll show you type of thing.
Hey, when did you go through? Were you there when I was there? Because I was stationed on Paris Island.
I think I left right before you got there. I was there from January 22nd through April 18th.
Yeah, I wasn't there yet. I came right after that. You're absolutely right. Yeah.
Well, I have no stories to talk about in terms of service,
Sure you do.
but we salute you.
Black man in America, and I bet you that's war.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, it is war. But salute to both of y'all, man. Especially because I don't know. It's like it's when black men get done with the military, they come out with a perspective that I can see why they wouldn't let black men in the Marines back in the 70s, until 1942, because the perspective you come out with is definitely a threat to white supremacy. It's definitely it's a more you're trained. I mean, they couldn't have a bunch of Negroes running around here with all that training and with that venom in their blood, that fight in their man. So it just makes sense. I'm thinking about my father-in-law who is in the military, and he just has a certain gaze in his eye when it comes to America and American empire and all that he would not have had he not served.
I mean, think about it, Ben. First off, America. Black people have been saving America since before America. His name is Crispus Attucks.
That's it.
We started this crap. We are black people are the original revolutionaries and the original
Day one,
Americans.
square one.
Because y'all wouldn't have this country unless Crispus Attucks shot a dude and got shot in his face, right? Being a military member goes against white supremacy and definitely goes against the MAGA, Trump-loving alt-right guys. Being a black military member, because we're not supposed to be patriotic. There's nothing more patriotic than a black service member, and it goes against all the tropes that they try to put out about what a American looks like. What about the veterans? Let me tell you something. The single largest demographic in the military, percentage-wise, per capita, are black women.
Wow, I didn't know that. Wow.
The single, you can look it up. Black women per capita, for their population, there's more black women in the military than any other population. When they get out, just like Muhammad Ali, when Muhammad Ali came out and said, I ain't serving in no Viet Cong. Viet Cong ain't called me no N-word, right? We come out proud Americans, and when we see these flag waving military supporting people, they act like the military is not majority people of color. They have no idea that the same people you're trying to build a wall across, cousins, are active duty out of San Diego, right? There's so many Latinx and Mexican brothers that are in the military right now. Their family members are in Mexico, and y'all are fighting against their own families. Man, the irony of this does not pass me by. Like when you see military members for BLM, every single BLM march, if you see a person with a gun that is marching BLM, that y'all calling terrorists and burning down buildings, there's probably 15 to 20, if not hundreds, of veterans, black veterans that are out there in the streets, pissed off, and they did more for the country than your little middle of America, apple pie eating, red truck driving, Confederate flag waving ass.
Exactly. Nah, man, you hitting on some truths right there, man. A lot of love from the chat room all across the board, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. A lot of respect for you guys and the service. But man, look, you said something right there that I think they don't care though. They don't care that black men and black women have been sacrificing for this country in the military, in the very thing they expect us to venerate, right? They expect us to simultaneously praise and respect the troops, but they don't give a damn that you're a black man who served this country, because you don't agree with their politics. If you don't agree with protecting white supremacy, then they just dismiss you. They will no more see you as a true patriot than they would see you as a human being.
So Donald Trump, how many votes? Mondale, you know this. How many votes did Donald Trump get, bro?
Somewhere in the neighborhood of 71 million.
Okay. So to me, if you voted for Donald Trump, you voted for racism, right?
Mm-hmm.
And to me, that means that close to 71 million people don't appreciate black veterans.
Yeah. Easily. Unless you're a black veteran, that does what they say, that obeys their way of being an American. If you are a black veteran who still manages to find a way to step and fetch for white supremacy, oh, they love you. You would go look at Allen West. Remember Allen West from Florida? What district was that? I can't remember. It was
South Florida.
It was South Florida. Allen West was their number one. They loved Allen West. He was the crown jewel of white supremacist patriotism as a black man. But if you don't kowtow to white supremacy, then they don't even recognize that you existed.
That's right. So I mean, so if being American automatically makes you have to support white supremacy, if being American makes you have to hate anything that's not white, then I'm not American.
I want to before we shift. Well, I want to shift because I want to play a video. I want to shift to the race down here in Georgia because that's going to be really big, and it is already big. But I want to play this clip of John Ossoff. But before I go, I want to make sure to see if y'all got anything else y'all want to say on the present topic. I don't want to just
that's fine.
Move on.
Keep it moving.
All right, let's keep it moving. John Ossoff need to shut his mouth. I'm gonna play the video. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna preface it with. Here's a video of John Ossoff on Axios, and this is why I think he's going to lose if he doesn't get out of his own way. Here we go.
People want to know what kind of person they're voting for, but I think they also want to know what policies that person supports, what you would do, what you would vote for if you were elected. Let me just do a speed round with you,
okay,
if I can. Do you support the Green New Deal?
No.
Do you support Medicare for all?
No.
Do you support DC statehood?
Yes.
Do you support Puerto Rican statehood?
Yes.
Do you support defunding the police?
No.
Do you support abolishing ICE?
No.
Do you support expanding the Supreme Court?
No.
Do you support ending the filibuster?
Maybe.
Okay, tell me more.
It's not just a question of yes or no filibuster. What I will consider is the implications in the long run when the shoe is on the other foot.
Yeah. He just need to shut his mouth. He just need to shut his mouth and let grown folks do the work, because the only redeeming value. Go ahead. Yeah. You bring your mic back up.
I need that link, Ben.
All right, I'll drop you the link in. We lost you again, Mundell.
My mic doing crazy stuff right now. I'm sorry.
But here it is. It's good. You're good. Go.
I need that link. That is crazy to me. That is why when I see the fundraiser by Act Blue telling people to give all their resources to the two campaigns and Fair Fight. I don't have no problem with Fair Fight, but giving all your resources to these campaigns, and this is what you're gonna get, and you think you're about to turn out black men, and he so cavalier can say no, and we just seen how many brothers get murdered by cops in Georgia, on duty and off duty, and vigilantes who are retired cops. Bro, this is exactly what I've been talking about. This is a problem right here. That video is disgusting on so many levels. He could have been a politician and be like, you don't have to say no so explicitly on the Green New Deal.
The Green New Deal, bro.
Co-sponsor of it, bro. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? The president's website leaned towards that. This is the consultant class in a suit. This is a consultant class with their name on the ballot. John Ossoff is what will lose in an election.
Yep.
And the tragedy of that is his loss so goes the Senate, bro. Like, so
That's
goes
the
the
thing.
Senate. And that is the detriment to us. They're already raising big numbers. And this is on HBO, where you might catch black men watching TV. Jesus.
That was gross.
Right.
Wow. I get it. I'm a progressive. Why should I vote for you? I mean, like, you didn't even fandangle it, bro. you didn't even smooth it out. And you damn sure don't live in Atlanta. Because if you lived in Atlanta, then you would realize that your fellow city members got murdered by cops. Like, you're not, you just took me down 5 pegs, and I guarantee that you took down a lot of black people in the state of Georgia 5 pegs. And I don't really care about what somebody's supposed poll says. If we look at the data that Ben Dixon has been bringing up for the past couple days, young black people were the reason why Joe Biden got to where he is, and young black people are also the reason why you got into a runoff.
Exactly.
So I'm tired of these people listening to just one Jim Clyburn associated consultant. Because if you had any gumption or gall, you don't respect black voters, man. They don't respect black voters. And the reason why they don't respect black voters is because they're not listening to all aspects of black society. And these people are not looking at demographic shifts. These people are not trying to increase turnout with African Americans. They're not. This man, whoa, that commercial just scared me. That commercial sounded like it came straight out of DC. I mean, not the commercial, but that interview sounded like he just came straight out of DC.
Yep.
And it also lets me know that Republicans are going to win. The Republican, I'm going to fight. How can I even, with a clear conscience after watching that right there?
I mean, hell, we did it. We did it for Joe Biden. But here's the thing. They're doing exactly in Georgia what is necessary for them to lose Georgia. So it don't matter how much we fight. It don't matter how much we ignore him and turn a blind eye and be like, okay, just shut up, Ossoff. We're gonna get you. He's doing the exact opposite. You had 90% of black people between the ages of 18 and 29 who voted for Joe Biden. 90%. Do you think they want the Green New Deal? Yes. Do you think they want the defund the police? Yes. Do you think they want to abolish ICE? Yes. Do you stand for any of that? No. So how are we going to be able to convince those same young folks to come out in January to vote for a cat that explicitly and so cavalierly and smugly dismissed everything that we fighting for?
We're not.
We're not
like
gonna
that was a bad. That was. I don't care what any person says. Any moderate talking head says. That was a bad interview.
That interview was.
That was a bad interview.
That was a hard right. That is a hard right turn towards traditional campaigning. First of all, let's be clear. This is a campaign who spent no money with black community really in Georgia this election cycle. So let's just acknowledge that this is a campaign ran by the consultant class for sure. This is the party's party. This is the party's candidate. The party enjoy the way John Ossoff run races because he just listens to them, no pushback. And
Right.
This is also why the party has not won a Senate seat in Georgia in how long? So I'm telling them, like, bring that down here you want to. If this is how the next 7-8 weeks are going to be, don't even spend those $200 million that y'all plan on spending, because I know that's how much you're going to spend. Save that money, because I'm telling you right now, that's going to be that's gonna be trash. That was the fact that the party isn't screaming at him for that interview scares the hell out of me.
I mean, it shows the sheer disregard of progressives, right? But let me do something real quick. I think we need to do something because I want to end this conversation. This one part of our policy platform, I guess, our developing policy platform here on Clickbaity Political Thirst Trap. I want to clear out one thing real quick. When I say defund the police, I mean defund the police. I'm a black man that has been getting I'm tired of non-black people telling black people you should say reform instead of defund. I'm tired of black people telling other black people you should say reform instead of defund. Reforming the police does not stop us from getting killed. Defunding the police will make them look up and say, okay, the American society is real serious about us not killing black people. Black people got to be the only constituency in America who can have a legitimate gripe, have stats behind it, and then somebody trying to soften it up to make white folks understand and make them feel good about. I don't care if white people feel good about me dying or me not dying.
Marcus, but the gag is that they intentionally are not going to understand. They don't want to understand. And here we got people like Ossoff and the Democratic establishment chasing after people who give them the middle finger every single second.
Listen, reforming the police is like telling the Patriots that they should just back up off of winning. No, I'm not going to use that because there's too many of my friends who actually like the Patriots for me to say that. So let me back up. And I was going to use the Patriots and the police. It was about to come out my mouth, right? Like I was going to equate those two, right? But I'm not.
Well, I mean, they're on. Well, never mind.
Yeah. Listen.
It was a good analogy. You just don't want to fight it today.
I want to point this out. Check this out. Nancy Pelosi, the CBC, and all the senior members of the Senate and the House, Democrats, they all came and put on kente cloths and took a knee.
Yep.
When we were in the middle of us burning down the country, the middle of us protesting and blocking your streets, they all took a knee. But the problem is they took a knee in solidarity with Black Lives Matter. They took a knee in solidarity with black people, but they didn't listen to a word that we said. That's why I know it was
not a damn word.
That's why I know it was all for show. There wasn't one protest in America that said reform the police. Wasn't one. There was not one single Black Lives Matter protest in America that said reform the police. There was not one Black Lives Matter protest in America that said cure the police.
Mm-hmm.
They said two things: defund the police and abolish the police.
Facts.
But none of these politicians, because they're white consultants, because it doesn't poll well, man, y'all don't win anyway.
Right.
So try something new.
These niggas, they don't know how to win in the first damn place. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, so you know what? Yeah, this is not what your moderate talking head on CNN is going to say. Right. And they know better. They know they're navigating a world, right? These guys have these these text message change between all the gatekeepers and all the neoliberal white folks. And I know we talked about them yesterday, but they're on these text message chains and they say stuff like, well, we just need to make sure that the narrative is not defund. That's a bad thing. Right. Well, y'all aren't on the streets. And it shows me that y'all don't respect the streets. And it shows me that John Ossoff doesn't respect the young black women and men who not only turned out at high rates for him, but protest with him. We changed the narrative of politics, and immediately after, a month after we stopped protesting hardcore, they're going back to that same moderate crap. And that's why I don't think that I'm gonna tell you something. That's why I don't think the Lift Every Voice plan that Biden has is gonna work. That's right. I don't think it's gonna work because they don't have the gumption. As soon as one moderate Republican says, well, you know, what about us? They're going to scrap that whole thing. Because Democrats kowtow to white moderacy. And that's just something that they do.
I love when you search for Jim Clyburn on Twitter. The first thing that comes up is my tweet saying Jim Clyburn doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. I was trying to find video of Jim Clyburn saying these things, right? And I want to, I just found it. I'm going to download it. But the reason John Ossoff feels so cavalier, feels so empowered to say this is because he's going to be like, well, Jim Clyburn said that we don't want to defund the police. So if that black man said that we don't want to defund the police, then surely it's okay for me to say it. No, don't let that one black man who don't know what the hell he talking about mess around and get you got.
Also, it's important to note, Ben, that if you're listening to Jim Clyburn, you're already signaling to black people that you're listening to people who aren't even your constituents over what they're saying, because Georgia has been on fire this entire year. So that telling black people already that you're going to be a bad legislator. So that argument that you're listening to Clyburn is a failed argument anyway, and it's also proof positive that maybe the Senate is not where you need to be.
I mean, a lot now. In full transparency, I think we all agree that that's, Anyway, I'm gonna leave.
No.
That cat, he couldn't even win his congressional seat.
No, Ben.
With all the money in the world.
With all the money in the world.
Ben, you got to go through this. We got to go through this. We got to iron this one out. I can't let people go to church with them irons and with them with that wrinkled shirt. We got to iron this one out. We got to put that iron on before we go to church.
Do that.
Yeah, we got to flatten it out. John Ossoff will vote with Democrats.
That's about it.
So the Democratic Party is a party that might be, again, I think they accidentally do good things, right? Not on purpose. I think my party accidentally does good things. John Ossoff in the Senate would make votes. The problem is that now I realize that we're going to have to block traffic again next year.
Yeah.
We're going to have to block traffic. We're going to have to shut their shit down. Oh, sorry. No.
Nah, we kind of lifted it. We're going to slide right back into it. So just let it go.
Yeah. We're going to have to shut this down again because they're not going to pass policy to stop us from getting killed. Listen to what I'm saying to you. Reforming the police department is not going to stop black men from getting killed. That comes from a black man. This is not coming from anybody else. No politician, no elected official, no talking head on CNN. I'm a black man that has black male nephews. I have a first cousin that got shot and killed by the police. His name was Jonathan Farrell. Reforming the police department can't reform racism.
Go ahead, Marcus.
They gotta stop. Y'all gotta stop playing games. John Ossoff, stop playing games. You could be. What's funny is you can be a politician around saying things like, "I want to work with Republicans," knowing that will piss off Democrats. You could be real smooth and suave with your words when you want to talk around those type of issues. But when it comes down to black folks and when it comes down to things that actually might help our society, there's such a hatred. That's why AOC said, "Man, I need to get out of here." And I feel her sometimes because there's such a hatred of anything progressive. And understand something. When I say progressive, I'm not centering what Bernie Sanders said. When I say progressive, I'm centering what black people need first. What indigenous Americans need first. The people who were screwed over since the inception of the United States of America. Right. I'm not a hotep. I'm a realist. You can just open up your lying ass eyes. If you don't believe me, open up your lying ass eyes and look at America and look at how they have done us. We have been getting killed since we've been over here by some white power structure. So the same structures that created the police department were the same structures that had police patrols. We have not even solved that part yet. Yes, I center reparations first. And the reason why is because y'all owe us. And if we don't, the reason why we can't get reparations is very simple. We need to have some kind of power structure to tell black folks to shut up, sit down, don't get free, because a certain percentage of black people are comfortable.
Go ahead, Mondale.
I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say, this is a. I'm super excited about the fact. I mean, I'm done with John Ossoff. He's trash. I literally. I mean, that interview was bad news, and I don't call humans trash lightly. But what I just watched, coupled with what I know from his history of not living in the district and still trying to, run in a seat that a black woman could have easily won, and we could have had a progressive voice, a black woman voice in that district. But because he could raise a whole lot of money, the party threw all of its whiteness behind him, and he still lost in the most expensive congressional election in the history of this country. And people need to know it was not even a full election. It was a runoff, and he raised that much money and lost, right? So let's talk about that. But I mean, I don't want to talk about that. I do want to just switch quick and say shout out to the people in Pennsylvania who had enough wherewithal to say we're going to segregate the votes of those who came in after election, because we know what this president and how tricky he is and how sneaky he is. And now that number is final, and we know how many votes came in after November the 3rd.
How many?
The president it was less than 10,000.
And he's losing by what, 60?
Yes. So take away those 10,000, bro. If you want to deny those 10,000 Americans their right to vote, even though the law of the state said that they could vote after that, you still lose, sir. You still got mollywopped in Pennsylvania. I'm so excited. Like this is I'm telling people like 2020 is the year of you'll see, and I'm super excited. I also, just because I'm this is my time to be honest with you all. I am done fronting on anybody. Ben, I asked you for that article if I could do two things. One, send it to Yvette Simpson, who I love, over at Democracy for America, where I am also the political director. And I said, you see this, you know what I'm saying? This is not going to help us win Georgia. She was like, this sucks. I would take his face off our website. That was one. Yeah. So, and the second one I sent it to was the sister who heads the IE for the DS. I just sent it to her, and I was like, yo, you guys are not helping me turn out black men in Georgia. This is not the move. And she's like, I understand. When can you chat? I am not like I'm calling all names, so people, I ain't doing nothing in the dark. This is like, in January, black men will not be held responsible for stuff like this. You want to know why black men don't turn out for elections? This man just literally spit in the face of our plan. We live with transit population in the neighborhoods with the worst air quality, with the worst water quality in this country. We need the Green New Deal more than anybody. Green New Deal is filled with trades that black men need to be trained in, skill sets that you can't take away by firing us, that people still gonna need. All of those jobs are filled in the Green New Deal. So you being that cavalier with it and smiling after you answer those questions, those rapid fire questions, as a politician, you should always be nervous with rapid fire questions because it sounds like trickery and you walk right into it unless you're ready to be on the side of the people.
Right.
What he just did in that interview was the opposite of that. You did rapid fire on the sides of business interests and also conservative policies. You sounded like Donald Trump. I'm against the Green New Deal. I'm against ending cash bail. I'm against. Those are conservative talking points. Those easy no's with no explanation. Show me how you feel about us. So so the idea that you think you're doing, that is why black men will sit out like, yo, Monday, you told me this, and this. And I'm like, yeah, I know. How am I go back?
We can't do nothing with that. There's nothing you can do with that, man.
Well, anything we do with that is cap. And we do it at the risk of losing our respectability. Our respect in the hood. And I don't know if y'all know it or not. There's a currency that is not dead white men in the hood. Dollars mean something, absolutely. Absolutely. But dollars don't mean more than respect. Dollars is not the reason Meek Mill can walk around Philadelphia with all his $100,000 for chains on, because plenty of rappers have tried it in their own hood and got robbed. LL Cool J. It is not that. And I'm not talking about something violent. I'm talking about the code of the hood. And if you don't understand the politics and the code of the hood means something to black men, and it's not no machismo stuff. It is a psyche that has been ingrained in us by America. It is a way of survival.
Hey man,
this question is not worth me losing mine.
Well, let me say about the respect. Can I just say this? That's the truest thing in the damn world. The only way I survived high school, college, and right after college, especially because I lived in next to and approximately to the hood, was by the fact that I had respect. Y'all think we gonna go out here and sacrifice? If I don't got nothing else, at the end of the day, if we got the people's respect, then we okay, and we can always recover from that. And y'all asking us to go out here and support this man, Jon Ossoff, and lie and say that we just need it. Y'all need to fix Jon Ossoff. Y'all don't need to fix us. You don't need to fix the hook. You need to fix John Ossoff if you want him to get our vote. Go ahead, Marcus.
I'm sorry, I'm fixing my battery. I just want to say this real quick. Do they hate us?
Go ahead. While you fix your battery, let me just drop. I ain't doing this to piss y'all off, but I want to drop this clip of Jim Clyburn on Axios as well.
Yes, you are.
Yes, you are, Ben.
Hey, boy, you are trying me this morning, man. Black men have blood pressure issue, bro.
I might be coordinating the show to make sure that it has the maximum impact, but it's also important.
I'm curious what you make of the fact of the House seats that you lost and why that happened.
Well, it happened simply because we were not able to discipline ourselves according to voter sentiment. We keep making that mistake. About you got to be this progressive or that progressive. That phrase, defund the police, cost Jamie Harrison tremendously. Now, I'm not saying it was the only problem.
You sound kind of mad, Congressman. It sounds like you're blaming the more progressive members of your party for holding folks accountable or to a standard that doesn't work in their district. You blame the progressive members?
No, I don't blame progressive members. I want everybody in my caucus to be as practical as I am. That's the difference here. How are you going to look at me and say I'm not progressive?
Because you ain't.
This foolishness about you more progressive than I am, that's poppycock, and I'm not going to listen to it.
If you could have a caucus meeting right now and you would, or tell folks what they should do differently, given the losses that we have, what would you say to them?
Stop sloganeering. Sloganeering kills people. Sloganeering destroys movements. Stop sloganeering. And let's go about the business of representing people and building hopes and aspirations for people.
It seems to me, Congressman, while you all might be celebrating Joe Biden's victory in defeating Donald Trump, the party, the Democratic Party, seems more fractured than ever.
We're not more fractured than ever. You know, a party's not fractured by a tweet that goes out or by the expression of one person.
Were you ever worried throughout this campaign and this process that those progressive ideas and slogans would hurt Joe Biden's chances at winning the presidency?
Joe Biden has some very progressive ideas.
The slogans, defunding the police, socialism, represent policies. It's an easy way for Dems to try to sell, or anyone, to try to sell their message.
Okay.
Can I say something?
Yeah, please do.
Okay, here's the thing. So first of all, the question was about the seats you lost in the House, Mr. Clyburn. Why'd you go to a Senate seat? That's one thing. Don't try to play with me. Let's be honest. The Congress folk that won election all over this country, not just in the North, all over this country, all supported defund the police. The ones that lost were the ones that you guys ran. Your people lost, not our people. Not one progressive lost a seat that they already had. The incumbents that lost were your type of Democrats. Those that were not for defunding the police. Let's be clear. So if your argument is defund the police was the reason people lost, or poppycock or sloganeering, whatever he called it. If sloganeering.
Stop the sloganeering.
Ain't no sloganeering in the fact that cops are killing us and we need to address it, bro. The fact that you can sit up there and say that, trying to earn Nancy's favor and saying the way you try to minimize that sister in that interview is disgusting. And it's also Nancy Pelosi's talking point from a year ago or 2 years ago. So you should be disgusted that you're saying that. And also, everybody that considers themselves a progressive should be angry that you said that. So for those who don't know, actually in 2018, when AOC was first elected, she tweeted something, and Nancy Pelosi's response, like her subtweet, was simply, one person doesn't control our party, or one person doesn't mean that the whole party is this way, right? Something to that nature. That was just a harken back to that point. Right. AOC is not one person. She's one person as an elected official, absolutely, and she has an individuality. But she represents the largest caucus in the Democratic Party, bro. The progressive caucus is large. So cut that shenanigans. And then if you also consider the fact that the people that are coming in, the freshmen that are coming in, they were in the street with the protesters. Don't forget, it was protesters that told Elliot Engel in New York, "You can't speak, bro."
Mm-hmm.
But they let Jamal Bowman speak.
That's that respect in the hood.
You can't speak, bro. They wouldn't give him the mic. He was like, "But I'm a Congress," and he was like, "And if I didn't have an election, I wouldn't
even care,
bro."
Right.
Bro, that's y'all. That's how y'all play politics. So you go ahead and finish buffing Nancy Pelosi's shoes. But I promise you, you ain't the cat's meow on one. And he just called himself progressive. Negro, please.
Exactly.
You two steps to the left. Ben Carson with his COVID aspect.
You know, first off, Mondale, you just nailed everything. Obamacare, the slogan there. But I don't hear him saying nothing about that. Right? There's been so many aspects of this guy's type of politics where he gets to call himself progressive. Matter of fact, let me do this real quick. What time is it? It's 9:45?
9:45.
Check this out, guys. We're going to take our small commercial break. And the reason why I want to take our small commercial break right now, I'm going to kind of force this one on America because we're going to come back to this conversation. We're going to take a small commercial break right now because we need to elevate Clickbaity Political Thirst Trap, because if they let Jim Clyburn on Axios,
man.
If they let Jim Clyburn on Axios Trap Squad, then our show needs to be a lot bigger.
Yeah.
A lot faster right now. Because if they let Jim Clyburn on Axios to spew what he just spewed, it's okay to have a neoliberal viewpoint, but to have the anger, that's the underlying undertone of anger towards black people that are progressive.
The slogan there. No slogan there. And I'm like, bro, he about to have an aneurysm. He's so angry about it. He said we were
responsible for Jamie's loss, bro.
Hold on. And guess what? Jamie, I called Jamie to tell him, I text him to tell him, hey man, race well won. Jamie Harrison knows that I'm a huge progressive. Jamie responded was like, thanks, brother. I really appreciate all your support. I'm a progressive. Jamie would have said to me, fuck off. Excuse my language. But that's what he would have said to me. You lost me the election. Jamie knows that we're doing this show. Progressives aren't the problem.
Never have been.
And we never have been, right? So I want to take a pause for the cause so you can go and like Clickbaity Political Thirst Trap, because we three black men have to be elevated so we can counteract narratives from a black man that white Democrats in middle America might think is the way that we think. We have to counteract that narrative. So you can find us at Thirsttrap on Instagram, Clickbaity Political Thirst Trap on Facebook, Patreon, and Instagram. You can find me. I'm Marcus #4 America on Twitter and Instagram, Old Man Politic on Twitch, and Marcus Farrell on Facebook. Please like this post right now. I don't know where we are in the ratio, but please like this post right now. And if you're driving, then wait till you park.
Don't do it. If you are driving, don't even touch your phone. Just keep listening. But if you're sitting at home, you're sitting at work, and you can easily reach over, and we don't want you to get fired because your supervisor walking over your shoulder, your back. But if you can, hit that like button on YouTube, because we on everywhere, Facebook and Twitter and YouTube, because we have 1,225 people watching and only 687 likes, and that's another way that you can help us get the word out.
It's also I'm Mondale Robinson. You can just Google me everywhere. I don't care. Really though, I think also if you are one of those 1,200 listeners and you have not liked our channel or subscribed to the YouTube channel, you should do that right now. And also it's important. I think it sounds like we're elevating Clickbaity because it's our show and we may be biased, but in actuality, we're trying to elevate a plea from black men on behalf of black men to say that we have a voice in how you will legislate or play politics around our lived experiences, and no longer will we be invisible. Clickbaity is about that, the ending the invisibility or removing the invisible cloak that exists on black men in our current political process, and it's tragic. And this is a great example. Both of these are great examples of how the first one was Ossoff, and then the second one Clyburn, and how black men take it from everybody, bro. Like,
right.
The fact that Clyburn is that comfortable is disgusting, and I'm gonna back so Marcus can have his say, because I know he stopped so as to do the commercial.
Yeah. No, guys. So when you prop people up, hey, listen, Jim Clyburn is a gatekeeper. If you haven't put it together. Also, I'm gonna add on to what Mondale just said. And Jim Clyburn is not a kingmaker in my life. Right. It's very important. Like, he's not a kingmaker in my life.
He ain't got no pull over us.
He ain't got no pull over me personally, right? And he can say what he wants to. He can probably call somebody. But I'm just going to point out what he just said on Axios in front of everybody. Because if anybody has a problem with me saying what I'm saying about Jim Clyburn right now, that means you agreed with what he just said.
Right.
And if you agree with what he just said, you're not on my side either.
Period.
Right? I'm not trying to get the American deficit up. I'm not trying to create blind, Russian trolling things in America. I'm just trying to get the cops from not killing us. And notice something. He hasn't gone on Axios to use his platform to bash the prison industrial industry or the police departments across the nation for killing black men. That's not what he just did. He didn't use his platform to stop his nephews from getting killed by cops in South Carolina.
Come on, man. He
didn't do that. What he did was he told us there's a certain way that you fight. Ain't that a little patriarchal? Isn't that patriarchy at its finest? I know how to talk about police. The cops see you have a congressional tag on your car, bro. I saw it before.
He's not even using his time, bro. This is the thing that gets me. None of them are using their time to fight back against this coup that Donald Trump is trying to do.
Come on, man.
They're using this time to fight back against the progressive movement. Like, where are your priorities at? Your priorities isn't to stop fascism. The only way we even had a chance of stopping fascism, because the work ain't done yet, Donald Trump ain't gone yet, was because of progressives. And now when Donald Trump is playing all his cards, going full coup on us, what are we doing? What is Jim Clyburn doing? He's gone on MSNBC a couple times. Now he's on Axios. Every time he hits the screen, he is the black face of white supremacy in the Democratic Party. He is stepping and fetching, shucking and jiving, coon-ass nigging on behalf of the white supremacy in the Democratic Party, instead of doing what has to be done to stop this fascist in the White House. This is why I say it's time to disrespect our elders, because our elders, and Jim Clyburn being not our ancestors, our elders, them niggas that are still alive right now, who ain't doing nothing on our behalf, but doing everything to stop us from actually getting progress that we need for us to survive.
And by the way, he's doing all of this while I dare him to say something about Pfizer. I dare him to say something about one of these drug companies that are overcharging black people for insulin. I dare him. I dare him. Because what you got?
I mean, that ain't in him. Like, right? That ain't in him. His idea of progressive is to not comb his hair and be bald in the middle.
George Jefferson looking at.
Yeah, like you ain't moved on up just because you're elected official. That is gone. We are a generation, 2 generations past, believing a seat at the table is enough. We are a generation that will build our own table, i.e. clickbaity is real. We are a generation that will build our own stuff,
right,
i.e.
from
Black
scratch.
Male Voter Project is real. We are a table that will not ask you for permission, i.e. Stacey Abrams, i.e. Nsé Ufo, i.e. I'm just giving you examples of black people that are not playing by y'all rules anymore. You're wrong, James Clyburn. And you are an election cycle or 2 away from being irrelevant.
Right. Hey, you know what's important about this conversation? I need y'all to understand something. A lot of people watching this will be like, hey, why are you guys not just railing on the Republicans? Okay, I need to explain something to y'all. We know what Republicans do. they are a couple of feet away from some of their own robes, right? Hanging, right? We know where their robes are in their offices sometimes. So we know that. They make themselves evident. The problem is the representation of what we are as black men right now. I'm going to tell y'all something that's very important. Jim Clyburn couldn't do that Axios interview in a black barbershop.
Oh, hell no. Absolutely the hell not.
Now, you know how many black men get haircuts? All of us.
Jim Clyburn don't get haircuts. He don't go to the black barbershop. You see his hair? You see his line?
Right. Right. Oh, yeah. So I'm looking at his line. So I want y'all to understand exactly why we are dragging him right now, because he is the Democratic establishment's number one tool to explain to America what black people think.
But he can't go to the hood and barbershop, and he can't go nowhere in the black community talking
Atlanta
that shit.
With that nonsense. Listen, Edgewood Avenue and Auburn Avenue, to the east of the highway at 85, has about 17 barbershops in that vicinity. And they're located a block away from Martin Luther King Center, just right down the street from my house. Let me tell you something. He can't walk into none of them talking that. And this is one of the blackest areas in America, one of the most historically black areas where black businesses have been thriving for 80 to 90 years. So what I'm saying to you is, we talk about him because he does not represent us. He represents the idea of us from a neoliberal's head. And that's why he's talked about on this show.
And for people, I want people to also know this. Don't nobody dissect what the Republican Party doing better than me on my show, and then on this show we do it too. So you know what, man, I ain't worried about those folks. I ain't worried about those folks. You know what?
Listen,
let them say what they gonna say.
Bro, listen. I look like an idiot. Hold on, let me digress real quick. James Clyburn get his hair cut at Great Cuts. I look like an idiot. I look an idiot 2 streets over trying to fix that person's leak in their roof when my house is flooding because it's got a hole in the roof and also the floor ain't stable. I don't care what's going on in the Republican Party. They 2 blocks away from me. I live right here in the Democratic Party. That's why I'm critiquing this party. I don't care about the hole in the Republican Party. If I had it my way, and if I'm being honest with you all this morning, I wish that house would crumble. Crumble. I'm trying to fix this one. I'm trying to get rid of that old tin roof that is the Democratic Party's and build a new one out of metal. That's the lifetime roof. And also change these fake wood floors and put real hardwood floors in, so as that black people can stand up and not fall through.
Come on now.
I don't care about the Republican Party. Stop talking to me about them.
Because the expectation is that we automatically vote Democratic, right? And I mean, like the articles that are all, I want everybody to Google Joe Biden administration and Republican. Just Google those words, and you're going to see the multitude of articles that come. That are out right now about how the Republicans are going to have a seat at the table. I know we talk about it a lot, but like, okay, so Ossoff doesn't like happy black things that we like, young black people like, right? Older black people like. Jim Clyburn says he's a progressive and that saying defund the police is sloganeering. You know why they actually have a slogan? They're having this argument with us is because defund the police is actually a real thing. And is making moves, right?
Right.
And a lot of moderate. I mean, come on. If you're a cop, if you're a black person in a black neighborhood and you see a cop, there's a 70% likelihood that you're looking at that cop in a skeptical way. What are you doing around here? Even if you have nothing to do with them. Now, if you're, a more well-off black person or a white person who lives in the suburban area and you see a police officer, you might be like, "Heidi ho, life is great. Thank you, police officer, for showing up." But they look like agents to me. right? They look like agents in black neighborhoods, right? They have oppressed us. They have beat us. They have killed us. They have killed us on camera and got away with it. They have killed us on tape 25 years ago, 30 years ago, and never got prosecuted. They have killed us. They have killed our women while they were sleeping. They have killed our men when we were legally owning firearms. They killed us without legally owning firearms. They killed us when we were walking. They killed us when we were driving. They killed us when we were riding bikes. They killed us when, etc., etc., etc. So don't get mad at us when we say, all right, we got to take away some of y'all tools. Defund the police.
Y'all keep on. I'm pulling up some clips. No, I'm not gonna pull up any more clips. I ain't gonna drive our blood pressure up anymore. Jim Clyburn got to go. It's time for that entire generation of black leadership and Democratic leadership to go. Not only because they are blocking progress, they're stopping us from getting anything done for a whole generation of. It's like your grandparents. Well, I mean, no, my parents, because my mother is a little bit younger than him. So it's like our parents and Generation Z's grandparents actively doing things to harm us when they're gonna be dead and gone, and we're gonna be the ones here still trying to fight, right? So it's not only that's not the only reason they need to go. The other reason they need to go is because they're incompetent. They're not able to fight against the Republicans anyway, right? So people want to know why we aren't fighting against the Republicans. You need to look at these people who got power who ain't doing nothing to stop Republicans. Where are they at right now stopping Donald Trump's coup? They out here worried about sloganeering.
Oh, no, honestly, they're out here worried about how they can get a Republican in the administration. That's what they're worried about. Whose side are you on?
Whose side are you on?
So I just want to remind y'all, yesterday we were talking, I was talking in descriptive politics, but not like specific descriptors, right? So let me be more specific. If color purple is my politics, and it is, James Clyburn is Mr. And he's trying to protect the old house. I'm telling you. So I'm telling you, don't matter, because Celie gone. And Celie represent all these new black folk who standing up now. Not these, I'm not talking about fake woke folk who got coal in their eyes, or fake woke folk who need to go lay down. I'm talking about wokeness, that you will not get this vote without giving up something. But that type of people are a real thing now. So I'm telling James Clyburn, stand at that house, stand at that gate, and act like you're gonna hit somebody, and see one of these two fingers of cursing coming at you.
Did you watch the movie again last night?
Bro, I'm on it, bro. I'm telling you, I'm about to get this color purple out. It's every day now. I'm telling you, it's gonna be a new form of politics.
I'm gonna watch it today, man.
And just think about current politics and think about black people. You're gonna be like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I got this one guy in my mentions, and he's a good dude. No disrespect to you, Mr. Harvey. But I tweeted this morning, Democrats like Jim Clyburn are putting more energy into fighting against protesters who call to defund the police than the coup that's happening in real time. That's why I said it's time to disrespect our elders. H. Harvey, he's from ATL. He said, not so fast. Clyburn is trying to elect 2 progressive senators in Georgia. And it's like, you guys, I hate to tell you, no disrespect, man, but y'all don't know what the hell y'all are talking about. He ain't going to get nobody elected in Georgia with this BS that is completely antithetical to what those people who went out and voted for Joe Biden, those 90% of black people between the ages of 18 and 29, everything that Jim Clyburn and John Ossoff are talking about on Axios is anathema to them. These kids don't want these two dudes talking this mess. They're more radical than us on this show. They want the police to be abolished.
A congressman from South Carolina that disconnected from what's going on in reality. Actually, I would argue that a politician speaking or capping on the behalf of another politician does little to nothing to excite the populace for going to vote. That's like me telling you my mom is the best cooker in the world, or the best baker in the world, or the best mom in the world. I'm capping for my mom. Like, don't be silly. Like, I mean, that doesn't work. And furthermore, Clyburn ain't affected no elections in Georgia ever. What's gonna happen? And how he's gonna do it now? And this ain't no disrespect to nobody. John Lewis couldn't motivate these young folk to go to the polls. That ain't no disrespect, bro. I'm just being 100 with you. I'm just being 100 with you. So this idea that James, and furthermore, There ain't two progressives running for Senate in Georgia right now, so let's stop that. There are two Democrats running, and we need to figure that out before we go any further. So, Brother Harvey or Sister Harvey or they Harvey, all I want to say to you is that ain't real. That ain't real. What's really happening in Georgia is Clyburn is gonna come down here, and when the black folk turn out in the general, he's gonna come. We ain't got a train back there. He's gonna pretend that he's responsible for something he ain't, just like Barack Obama did in the general election. So, but that ain't what it is, bro. That ain't what it is.
Well, I'll go even a step further, Mondale. Fulton County voter here happens to be a black man.
Right.
I'm a voter here. Let me just tell you about me. And my friends think a lot like me. Fulton County voter, black Georgia voter. You're looking at a black Georgia voter right here, right now. Not only have I organized in politics in Georgia, I helped get one of the most famous current politicians to the level where she is. I helped. She did her own work, but I was a part. I still consider
part
myself
of the team, bro.
A part of the team of Stacey Abrams. That's my sister, and I'm gonna support her anytime. So let me go back to Clyburn. Clyburn ain't doing nothing. Clyburn
he ain't doing nothing but interviews on TV, boy. Like he ain't organizing not a damn thing. He ain't what? Maybe he helping them raise money. What good is the money being raised if y'all gonna run those cornball ass commercials and not put money on the ground? Like, we're telling y'all, this is why you lose, because we've shown you how to win. And when you win, it's as a result of what we have been saying on this show. It's because of field. It's because putting money in field instead of these cornball ass commercials. It's putting candidates up who actually believe what they say and can connect with the community, not some empty suit ass dude like John Ossoff. And we're telling you, we could probably manage to help y'all win even with the empty suit like John Ossoff if he would shut his goddamn mouth.
Yeah, he didn't have to say nothing. That's the thing about it is, and as Mondale has explained,
he didn't even have to say nothing.
Yeah,
right.
As Mondale had to explain about some of his conversations, as I know for a fact that we had to explain with different candidates and issues in the state of Georgia. We're trying to get people to vote that really don't like you anyway, right? Like they don't like you. You look like the feds. You're not black. Like, this is Ossoff, not Warnock. So I'm talking directly about Ossoff. I'll say it first. You're not black. So now you're a white guy. And I'm not trying to simplify it and just say that black people only vote because we turned out for Biden, but it ain't a 40-year relationship. Bro, you basically new on the scene, and there's organizations that have been putting their respect, putting their name on the line, pushing you.
Right.
Progressive organizations out here that on their website literally says stuff like defund the police. You heard what Mondale just said. DFA is supporting you for this. Do you hate us?
Do you hate us?
No,
do you really hate? Do these people? Does Ossoff hate us? And I'm asking that for real because so far everything that I care about, you haven't protected me from nothing that can harm me.
I got to address a couple questions in the comment section because I need y'all either to use your brains and have the ability to handle a nuanced conversation, or just shut up in the chat room.
No,
because I'm keeping it real. Somebody said, but bro, do you really want David Perdue?
Oh God.
That's why I said what I said earlier, bro.
That's why I said use your head, man. Use your head. God. And then somebody else said, well, what's the point of voting for Joe Biden if you're not going to help him win the Senate? What the hell is it? What is the disconnect? We're literally telling you, here's the data showing you how Joe Biden won Georgia. It was won with young progressives and young black progressives especially. Now, what do those young people want? To come back out and vote again on January 5th? Well, they want a Green New Deal. John Ossoff said he didn't want it. They want to defund the police. John Ossoff said, no, I'm not going to do that. Jim Clyburn is attacking us about that. Instead of paying attention to the president of the United States trying to undermine democracy altogether, they're coming after us. They're attacking the very people that helped Joe Biden win. Use your goddamn heads, people.
It's very simple. It's not that hard. Like, we're literally, okay, let me tell you guys, since some of y'all are new to us, let me tell you guys the dynamics of Clickbaity political thirst trap. Mondale is a longtime organizer and a leader of a major organization. Me, I'm a longtime campaigner, and I used to be a leader of one of the major organizations that actually do work, galvanize people. And I'm still a political consultant to this day. We're all political consultants. Ben Dixon has been raging against the same political machine for years. So we have nuance on the show. We understand completely what we're doing, right? There is no voices even explaining, because it's not like these white consultants that work for Ossoff and that are telling Clyburn what to say, call us for advice. They think they know everything, right? So when you watch this show, understand something. These are 3 Biden voters that are probably going to be Ossoff voters anyway, because we understand the overall goal, but we want to win to get there.
And you're not going to win if you keep shitting on the people who helped Joe Biden win Georgia. It's really quite simple. Here's what they're actually asking for, and this is the level of political participation that demagogues and authoritarians and people like Donald Trump actually need. You're asking us to just say yes, sir, and no, sir. Yes, ma'am, and no, ma'am. You're asking us to look at something that we know is a losing strategy, because we have seen it lose so many times across the country. You're asking us to look at and just fall in line and just say, well, Jim Clyburn says do it, so maybe we should just grin and bear it and just do it. And you lose. And then who do you blame? You blame black people. Listen. Put some money in my swear jar, because fuck all y'all. Fuck all them. Y'all don't know what the fuck y'all are saying. You're out of your fucking minds. Kiss my ass and get off our stream.
Hey, on the real. Yes, a boss.
Yeah, that's what they want.
I to do everything that Ossoff and Clyburn says. I to be they good nigger, and I just support them, and I can't say no. You know what? I slap you in the face. I slap you in the face.
Bitch, I would kill you. Y'all know what that means?
You got the wrong Negro, man. Boy, y'all got the wrong.
Y'all on the road. Y'all on. And the thing is that thinking is pervasive, fam. That thinking is pervasive. They think the way to win is to shut up and do whatever Nancy Pelosi says do. How has that worked out for you?
Jim Clyburn said sloganeering is killing black people. Not cops, not their mediocre policies, not their unwillingness to fight on behalf of progressive policies, but sloganeering is killing black people.
Let me go to your website, Mondale.
I think people should really be aware of what's popping off as it pertains to like how these people think. To me, Jim Clyburn was literally trying to talk in sound bites so as to influence media.
Right. And
try to create a conversation that doesn't exist or does not need to happen. We don't need any more of this fakeness talking about progressives cost Jamie the election, or because first of all, how you trying to act like you upset, and then when the reporter put the question to you, are you mad at your progressive caucus members or your campaign? You be like, oh no, I ain't mad at nobody. Well, who responsible for the progressive policies you act like you upset with? You can't be mad at a policy that didn't get presented by a person, without being upset with the person for presenting the policy. You can't name a name, because you're gonna find out real quick that those people that you supported that lost elections ran raggedy campaigns by y'all. Not investing in young voters and where they take on media. I can promise you, majority of those folks that lost had $0 spent. They had no plan for Facebook. And when Facebook told y'all in advance, even we knew, Black Male Voters Project as a young organization knew, that we need to get those ads in a week before so they can be approved. Your people weren't on social media anywhere. These candidates that lost weren't on social media anywhere with no type of messaging because they had no plan. Y'all ran those races. These people were not champions of the Green New Deal that lost. AOC didn't lose. Ilhan Omar didn't lose.
Rashida Tlaib
didn't lose. The squad grew. Y'all lost because y'all playing politics in the wrong way. So sloganeer ain't losing elections. People are doing like the Bible said God would do about you being lukewarm. Y'all getting spat out.
Hey Mondale, you know what a slogan is that I bet you he won't ever disrespect like that? Mm-hmm. I have a dream. I bet you don't have a problem with that slogan.
You know,
let me go ahead.
But Marcus and Ben, think about this. let's remove, like, let's play something we can't do. Let's play God for a second. Let's take Dr. King from the 60s and bring him here now. Dr. King's talking about Medicaid for all. Dr. King talking about universal basic income. These people would be against Dr. King.
Bro, Dr. King was talking about ending the military industrial complex and American imperialism. Like Jim Clyburn legit would have it out for Dr. King. Let's just call a spade a spade. And the only reason they can mention him right now is because they killed him back then. That type of thinking killed him back then. So now they can rewrite him to be anything they want. I want to put up this. It's on the screen, and it's been on the screen. And this is data from Mundell, from your website, Black Male Voter Project. I stumbled on it yesterday, man, and man, this is my first time seeing it, but it is so critical. And hold up on the text messages because they're popping up on the screen. Just so you know. Just to make sure you were aware.
That's that MacBook. Let you know.
Because that Mac will get you in trouble.
Put you on blast.
But that Mac will get you in trouble. The percentage of a county's population identifying as both Black or African American and non-Hispanic. Look at Georgia.
Look at Georgia.
Mundell, this is from your site. Would you just talk about this?
Well, I mean, so the purpose of this map was a couple things. This map shouldn't be, our website is in the middle of update, and I told them one thing that's going to stay is that heat map. Let me tell you why. Because I'm looking for a map that shows where Democrats spend most of their money. And you're going to see, now we are the Democratic base, but when that money when that money come in, the money doesn't match how these counties look, Ben. So I'm being petty by letting this map stay on it because it's showing where the demographics of where the Democrats' money should be spent is literally, look at Georgia, for real, look at Georgia. I never even paid attention. Look at Georgia compared to my home state, like North Carolina and South Carolina. And
look at Mississippi.
Yeah, but I mean, the thing about Georgia is it's the entire state. Mississippi too. The top part is a little, but it's not that populated in the top part of Mississippi. So, but I mean, so the thing about it is, people keep talking about demographic shifts or what, like how you should invest. This is part of market research for the Democratic Party that they tend to ignore as it pertains to like how they're spending their resources. They're not targeting these blue, which is unbelievable concentration of Black people, or dark red, unbelievable concentration of Black people. So this is tacky, and also this is what fears me, Ben. Look at this map, right? And then think about what people say about the Democratic Party. And now it's consultants are saying it more and more, and they're lying to people. They're saying the Democratic Party is a coastal elite party.
Right.
Look at the bottom of that country. That's the Southeast American coast. We are not elite. The Democratic Party should have been a Southeast coastal party, meaning they should have been supporting Black people and Black efforts. You understand what I'm saying? So that idea is tragic and flawed in so many ways. Almost the majority of the East Coast is where the Democratic money should be spent, and it should be spent on Black communities in those spaces because that's where we are. And that's not no elitism. That's just where we are.
It just is what it is, man. Look at it. And so if you look at everything that Mundell just said, the dark purple, what color, raspberry color, 30 to 48% who identify as Black, 48 to 86% who identify as Black. Look at Georgia, and y'all tell me, how the hell do you think we win Georgia for the special election? For everybody who's so concerned, oh, Jim Clyburn is trying to help us win Georgia. Not when he is attacking the very things that Black people are fighting for in this damn state. And this state is, it is just saturated with Blackness. And y'all going to tell us that the way to win it.
Saturated is the word. That's what I was looking for. Saturated. Thank you.
Yeah, they trying to tell us the way to win it is to ignore the very things that Black people were saying do.
Hey, I got another slogan. Y'all ready for it?
What is it?
Lift every voice.
Yep. Yep.
I'm going to just come up with slogans. Trap Squad, help me find slogans that Democrats use all the time while he's trying to talk about.
Don't boo, vote.
Oh, don't boo, vote. There goes the slogan.
The tackiness of that "don't boo and vote." It was funny when he did it initially, but they literally turned it into an entire campaign thing when he was. In 2016, and then they brought it back with the Halloween poster this year. And I'm like, are y'all really that bad?
Hey, but hold on, man. I'm gonna boo and vote because some of y'all are just horrible human beings.
Yeah.
Vote blue no matter who.
Vote blue no matter who. And look at Joe Manchin in West Virginia. Said he gonna vote against. He gonna vote. Listen, let me tell y'all something. We did what we had to do, and we told y'all as soon as this election was over, we gonna call a spade a spade. We called a spade during the election. Damn it, right? And we said we're gonna do what we got to do. We got Joe Biden the vote. Here's the thing: it's not even finished, and the establishment, Nancy Pelosi, Jim Clyburn, all of them at the top have decided to turn their energy into attacking us, black folks, progressives, black progressives, the very thing that we fight for, instead of stopping Donald Trump. What have they said or done meaningfully to push back against what Donald Trump is doing right now with this coup? Every time you see Jim Clyburn on television, what is he doing? Lecturing us. And Jim Clyburn, honestly, in every way, morally, he doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. In terms of the data, he doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. Politically, he has not a fucking clue what he's talking about, because we have shown you on this show over and over again how Joe Biden was able to flip Georgia. And it wasn't because of Joe Biden. No. It was because of all the organizers on the ground who are extremely black and extremely progressive and extremely want the police defunded. And they have made it their mantle right now to go after the very thing that has energized those organizers to flip it. They are killing the very thing that they need to win.
You know, it's a bunch of people who, like the Northeastern, I guess, liberals, right? Like the DC liberals, right? They don't know what black existence is, and they definitely don't know what black existence is in Georgia. I got a funny feeling that I think that even Clyburn doesn't know what black existence is in South Carolina. Because if he does, I mean, my brother Muhaddin, who passed away a couple of years ago, he was an organizer out of Charleston, and he got shot and killed in New Orleans. Muhaddin Dabaya, great brother. Amazing brother, amazing organizer. As a matter of fact, I don't know if y'all remember, Muhaddin was the one that literally jumped over a police barricade to tackle the flag. Yeah. That was Muhaddin. He passed away a couple of years ago. He got shot in New Orleans, but he was a really good friend, an early Bernie supporter, and also he went from, blasting Bernie.
Marcus, hold on one second. Marcus, I'm telling you, our viewers are dope. You said you want some slogans? Somebody just said, yes, we can.
Right. There you go. Right. So listen. So wow, that's a good one. Well done. Yeah, real good. So, I'm pretty sure if Muhaddin was alive, he's a South Carolina native, he'd be screaming defund the police or abolish. Matter of fact, he was already screaming abolish the police before he died. Yes. So there's black. Again, being black damn near automatically makes you a progressive if you were born now, if you were around now, if you care about the things that you care about right now. Man, these guys had so many. Jim Clyburn been elected how long? These guys have been elected how long?
He was there long enough to vote for the '94 crime bill, wasn't he?
You had so much time to center our issues, to push Barack Obama on simple stuff like, well, we got to reverse the crime bill. We got to do things to make sure that African Americans aren't getting hurt by the police, and we have equal protections under the law. They had a lot of time to do that, and they didn't. And now they're telling us we can't do it. Therefore, they don't want changes to happen. Talking about some damn slogans. I got a slogan. F you.
I was about to say, kiss my ass. That was going to be my slogan. Kiss my black ass. What somebody said, what the fuck, man? There's no coup happening in real time. Stop contributing to hysteria that prevents. See, this is the other side of the equation, right? So being a black progressive, let me tell you something. Y'all know this. We've talked about this on air and we've talked about it off air. Our existence rests on the very thing that America needs for liberation of all people and the progress of humanity. Where we live, where we exist, rests right on that nexus, on that intersection. That said, we get attacked from everywhere. We get attacked from neoliberals. We get attacked, of course, from conservatives. We get attacked from black misleadership class. And we get attacked from people who think that they are progressive. And they think that they are more progressive than us. Here's a dude on Twitter saying, what the fuck, Ben? There's no coup happening in real time. Stop contributing to the hysteria that, watch this, prevents us from subjecting Biden's transition to the proper scrutiny. Hold on. Why are y'all so basic and stupid? Do you not have enough working digits? Did you get dropped? Like, did your mother slam you against the wall when you were a baby and you can't walk and chew gum at the same time?
Damn,
Can you not see, for the love of your stupid idea, you so progressive, you can't see that at every single level, the president of the United States is trying to institute a coup. Simultaneously, we out here giving Joe Biden all the hell. What is wrong with these people, man? Y'all are so stuck on stupid. You really just need to go back and just get offline because the internet was just too complicated for you to process.
Ben, breathe, brother. Okay.
I'm good, bro.
All right. But y'all,
I just don't like stupid shit, man.
So speaking of stupid stuff, listen, Clyburn became involved in politics in 1969. This is how petty I am, y'all. Y'all know that.
Yeah.
So Mr. Clyburn, you and Sloganeer, we'll get this conversation. Clyburn became involved in politics during the 1969 Charleston hospital strike. After assisting the settlement of the protests at the Medical University of South Carolina, guess what he did? He began to get involved with the St. Julie's Divine campaign. And guess what he did? In 1969, he came up with the campaign slogan, Divine for Ward 9.
Oh, Lord.
Ain't that the universe? Ain't that the universe?
You stay in the game long enough, you're gonna contradict yourself.
I'm telling you, hey, like old folks say what they say, keep living.
Keep living.
Keep living.
The bad part about it is, this is perfect. He doesn't realize that we have the internet. like Clyburn doesn't realize that we have the internet, man. If first off, why do we always have to center Republican talking points as Democrats?
Right.
Why do we have to fight on their battlefield? Why do we always have to reserve ourselves to the conversations that they want to have about us so we can respond to whatever they say? Why can't we even have strong conversations from our side, like all the things that we have? Why are they allowed to say we can't reduce ourselves to sloganeering, and then they are allowed to make slogans when they want to? Because
Antone Barr said I think he mean that's nuts, but he put acorns in there instead of nuts. That's nuts, Mondale, what you found on Jim Clyburn. Well, you be researching faster than them up. Go ahead, Marcus.
I'm gonna tell y'all some of my illegal activity. When I was in college, I used to write paper for everybody in my class, especially like sociology, and they thought like I'm gonna charge $20. Like I wouldn't write you an A paper if you were an A student. If you were a C student, I would write you a C paper. If you were a B student, yeah. I mean, because like you get what you are. Like, and I charge $22 a page unless you got a grade lower than what you were. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I would do. So, but it also made me like super. Yeah, it was like super like quick on like researching where to find facts. And I pay for all of these scholarly newspapers. So, yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you over there. Mondale's a walking LexisNexis. Hey, listen, man. No, the hypocrisy is there, evident. The hypocrisy is there and it's evident. And you know what? The awesome part about this show is, I'm gonna tell you like this right here. I think there are some amazing progressive shows. Right, TYT, Damage Report, like, Tim Black. I think there's so many shows that are just really dope. I think what kind of separates us a little bit is we don't mind really going after black people.
Yeah, well, we don't mind going after anybody.
Going after anybody.
We go after everybody. Hell, we go after each other.
Right. As a matter of fact, you holding the picture right now that I think you should show.
I am?
Yeah, look in your text messages.
Oh, wait a minute.
For the people who think that we can't work across the aisle.
Oh, Lord. You sure you want to show that, bro? I need to give the disclaimer before I show that.
Yeah, you might want to do that.
No. Bro, I love you too much to put that up. Hey, why would you do this to yourself, right?
You see the smile?
Yeah, I was smiling.
Oh, goodness. Hang on. I'm going to open it. Shit. Okay. Audience, I need you to get prepared.
Hold on. I want to do my disclaimer. I need disclaimer.
Okay. I need the disclaimer.
I need your disclaimer.
Oh, you need us to give it. You're right. But this is different. But
okay,
every now and then. Because this is different. You're not going to defend this clown. You're just going to defend the fact that you took a picture with them.
Yeah, there you go. So at a NAACP at Martin Luther King weekend in West Virginia this year, I spent time doing work in West Virginia with Black folks in West Virginia, and there this, you know, I'm actually trying to make political moves in this state and find out the lay of the land. And who do I see? I see this guy that has been a problem for Democrats, but he actually gave me a pretty decent conversation until I started asking him about, so what you gonna do for Black folks in the state? And then Smile took a selfie, and then he just walked away from me fast as hell. And here's that selfie.
Okay, here it is. Yeah, I don't know which one y'all gonna see first. Me cussing people out on. Okay, there it is. Bruh, you need to burn that picture. Get it out. I had a picture. It was funny. I had a picture with a certain Black, how could I put it? How would I describe this guy? A celebrity activist, not the one that we all know on this show, but another celebrity activist. I just walked up to him in Philly to say, "Hey, what's up, man?" And I guess he assumed that I wanted to take pictures with him because he grabbed my phone and started taking pictures. And I'm like, these pictures will never see the light of day. I deleted those pictures right away because I was not going to be seen online with the. And you need to do the same with this, bro. You need to burn that.
Man,
and,
what are you talking about?
Huh?
Why are you talking about Roland Martin like that?
No, I didn't say that, Ro. I didn't say that one.
Actually, it's funny. I don't think I met Roland in person yet. All these years I've been doing this. Yeah, I don't think I met him in person.
Mondale.
Yeah, he twisted.
Roland,
all right,
Roland is like he's one of those people who I thought in person he'd be short, but he's actually, you know.
No, Roland is tall. Yeah, Roland's pretty tall.
Can I just say something real quick? Marcus said something about I think it was Marcus, might have been you, Ben, that like Clyburn, you know, I'm not letting this go. Clyburn wouldn't say anything about insurance companies.
Yeah, that was me. I said
okay, that's what I thought. It's interesting that you would say that because his top donors this year were lawyers and insurance companies.
That's why I said that.
Lawyers and insurance companies gave this man the most money this year. So be careful, buddy, before I start looking for you. And then after that, it'd be security and investments. And if you don't know what that is, that there, y'all, for us country folk, is Wall Street. There's Wall Street. You're Mr. Clyburn, bought and paid for by healthcare industry and also Wall Street.
You know, in hindsight, if I'm an old Jewish senator, Democratic Socialist senator from the state of Vermont, and I knew what we now know about Jim Clyburn, and I really didn't know South Carolina, I'd probably think South Carolina is problematic also for keep putting this man back in office.
Yeah, but he can't say it. Don't say it out loud in public though. Keep that to yourself.
You better whisper it to your wife if you
say
it.
I get that, right? I understand that, but what I'm saying, but I don't have to whisper it on the show.
Right? No. Facts.
Right.
Facts.
Like so maybe Bernie didn't do the work in South Carolina because he thought, man, if they keep putting him back in office, ain't no way that they could put me in office down there.
Bruh.
As much as I drag Bernie, that might have been his rationale for ignoring that state.
Man. Yeah, don't say that shit out loud, but he shoot. We gotta get it's a generation, man.
Bernie can't say too much because Kaiser Permanente is like his fourth or fifth largest donor too, and then right behind them is AT&T, and we know AT&T every year has a wonderful presidential sponsor of Alex Conference, and then Walmart gave Bernie a lot of money too. So
yeah.
Oh man, fellas, I've done better today. That was my first yawn.
I saw that.
Yeah,
that's the first one, and it was pretty hefty there. But we are at the 2-hour mark. We are at hour 58 minutes. That gives us enough time for one of us to get the last word. Who wants it?
Man, I'll take it. I'm gonna repeat what I said in the show earlier. First off, I am blessed and honored to be in community with Mondale Robinson and Benjamin Dixon. This is healthy for me, and I hope this is healthy for our viewers as it is for me. If we confuse you with some of our sentiment about Democrats or Republicans, you need to watch the whole show and grow a nuance. But we mean well. But we mean well, and understand this: our complaints. Don't let racist or tropes of black men dictate how you listen and how you receive what we say. Yeah. Right? We might get on Ossoff, but didn't Ossoff get on us? Right? What America's not used to is black men speaking. It's just not. And if we speak, we have to sound like Barack Obama to make you feel good.
Let me be clear. Go ahead.
Right. We don't have to say anything about our experiences. And we are one of the only groups in America, black people in general, one of the only groups in America whose experiences are so real and so intimidating that you lose focus on what we're saying and you just try to focus on how we say it.
Yep.
If you support this show and you're part of Trap Squad, you're part of the Squirrel Gang, Chipmunk Squad, make sure you like this post. Make sure you share us, because unless we're out here talking the way that we talk, you allow Jim Clyburn to define what the black community means and needs.
Right.
Unless you support this show, you are reserving that to white Midwesterners that we all think like Jim Clyburn when it comes down to what blackness means and what the streets mean and what Atlanta wants and what Miami wants and what Orlando wants and what Birmingham wants and what Jackson, Mississippi wants as Southern black people who have done our own independent work outside of establishment Democrats, gatekeepers. Yeah. So share this show, like this show. We're going to keep talking, and we hope that you join us tomorrow from 8:30-ish to 10:30-ish on Clickbaity Political Thirst Trap. I'm Marcus Farrell. It's been a pleasure.
Yo, don't forget to chase those nuts this morning, y'all. Squirrel up, squirrels.